Water and land are both essential not only for our survival, but also for our daily work, for our traditions, and even for our dignity. In the cradle of mankind on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, man has been struggling since the dawn of civilization against the shortage of water. Much of the ingenuity and work of thousands of generations have been spent in inventing and building systems to harvest water, collect it, conserve it, and to use it efficiently. And today, ancient systems and state-of-the-art technologies are being used throughout the region in the never-ending challenge to obtain enough water, a race against time to get enough of this vital resource. The ancient gestures of a woman taking water from this ageless well brings us back to the times of civilizations that developed their water collection systems thousands of years ago. Rainwater harvesting is one of the oldest among such systems. It was used already 8,000 years ago in the first human settlements of Asia, and 4,000 years ago in Greece and Palestine. But how to conserve the water once collected, to keep it in reserve for the driest months? In this Jordanian village called Madaba, shortage of water has been an ever-increasing problem for the past years. Ancient techniques, improved with some modern technology, can bring the solution.
كيف كان الشتاء زمان؟
زمان؟ كانت من شهر 9 تشتي الدنيا وظل مستمر لشهر 4 لشهر 3 لشهر 5 مرات حصيد الشعير بشهر 5 وتشتي الدنيا عليه. وقبل 15 سنة كانت لما تشتي تقعد أسبوع وتشتي. والناس كانت معتمدة على الله وعلى المطر، على مطر السماء، المطر اللي ينزل من عند ربنا من السماء، والحلال والبني آدمين وكل شيء، والزراعة. كانت الزراعة قبل 20 سنة هيك، هذه الزراعة اللي بالمنطقة كان في شيء بسيط، زيتون وعنب. كان العنب قبل 15-20 سنة المنطقة هاي أكثر شيء بيها زراعة عنب، وعنب غير شكل يعني، عنب غير شكل. مع انه بعد صارت ينقص المطر.
In a country ranked the 4th driest in the world, the effects of the 4th running year of drought are devastating. In the winter of 2008, Jordan received only 95 million cubic meters of rain, about 1/5 of normal years. It is the lowest in the last 10 years. In the Roman days, thousands of people inhabited what is now a barren area. With the help of Mercy Corps, their ancient system of water harvesting is being rehabilitated and expanded.
This is an ancient Roman cistern where it collects water from the rainwater. It is the only source of water which is used for agriculture here, for livestock and for trees. The water is catched from this area and it's guided to the cistern, and then people use it here for cattle and for other purposes.
احنا ودنا ابار، عندنا هذول ابار رومانيات، وهذول كانت اهل هالقريه هاي كان عدد سكانها فوق 10,000 نسمه، ومن قلت المواصلات والشو اسمه نزحوا على المدن، صارت هجره. الان الناس اللي بالمدن صاروا يطلعوا ويرجعوا على القرى. صار مع قلة المياه، شح المياه بالاردن يعني مو علينا احنا من حالنا. صاروا الناس يعتمدوا على الله وعلى المطر وعلى الابيار الرومانيات هذول، هن يجمعنا الميه للماشيه وللزراعه وللبني ادمين يشربوا منه. يعني لو انهن هذول الصالحات كلهن يجوز يصير عندنا احنا اهل المنطقه هاي اكتفاء ذاتي بالمياه. هم أهل الحلال هذول اللي يروحوا يجيبوا تنك المية من مليح ومن لب ومن المناطق هذه ومن الورا يجيبوك 50 دينار أردني مشان يسقوا حلالا ومشان يشربوا. يعني مصيبة المية شغلة اقتصادية خلتنا ننزل للحضيض. مشكلة المية عندنا هي المشكلة الرئيسية، رغم أنه منطقتنا كمان بعيدة عن مركز المحافظة ومركز الدول، فهذه مشكلتنا بالمناسبة.
هذا البيت كان لعمي الله يرحمه، وهذا كان البيت لمين؟ بيت لأبويا أنا انولدت فيه، وهذا المطبخ كان مشترك بينهم، وهذه الأرض كانت موجود بها مزروع تين ورمان، ولسه الكهف هذاك المغارة كانت وين الحلال فيها، حطوا بها المعزة والنعاج، وهذا كنا عايشين حياة طبيعية وألفة وتعال فرج، أحسن من هيك ما فيه. بعدين تطورت الحياة، ردينا انتقلنا عمرنا البيت اللي هو هذاك اللي قدام، وبعدين الحياة تطورت لسه عمرنا وتركنا المنطقة.
The ancient Roman cisterns have a capacity between 100 and 400 cubic meters. 11 cisterns have already been completed in this village. 2 more are under construction.
This is another Roman cistern where we did the rehabilitation. And what we did is that we took the sediments and the old plastering and we put new cement plastering with impermeable materials. Then the structure above was also renewed. We have precipitation tank where the water coming from the catchment area, the sediments stop there and then the water overflows into the cistern.
Covering the needs for livestock and agriculture is just as important, as these are the only sources of livelihood for the villagers. Jordan farmers have 15 million olive trees, and in this area the drought is already beginning to kill them. And in facing today's climate change, ancient water conservation techniques are proving very useful. In the water-starved West Bank, Bedouins are feeling the impact of the same drought which has hit the Jordanian East Bank. But here, all rivers and streams, as well as underground water tables, are under strict Israeli control. Water harvesting and storage are one of the very few ways these Bedouins can help themselves. And here again, ancient cisterns are the answer for these people whose precious livestock would otherwise never survive.
والله هذول سويناهن زمان احنا، بس خرب انه في ناس خربوا يعني واجينا عليهم من المناطق هذه يعني من هذا السواحل شايف. الحين مع تعب يعني شوف بدي احكي لك، ورثناهم عن ابياتنا وجدودنا، فحرنا السملي وفحرنا التراب اللي في جواهن وطلعناه ونظفنا وسوينا كل شيء يعني، وهسه صرنا نجدد فيهن.
13,000 people are living in the village of Al-Ubaidiyah, near Bethlehem. 10 community groups participate in the project, which is essential to provide water for their livestock. Every family keeps sheep and goats, and in the project area alone there are 7,000 heads, for which 14 cisterns have already been rehabilitated. In the neighbouring municipality of Zatara, almost every family owns sheep and goats. There, 6,500 villagers have over 10,000 heads of livestock, and the villagers' many shepherds rely on rehabilitated cisterns to harvest water for their flocks.
As I'm one of the Zatara inhabitants, and my father spent all of his life with sheep and goats, my father and many other people come to this area with their goats and sheep to have grass and irrigate their animals from these wells. This cistern was 400 years old. and it's collect about 400 cubic meters of water, of rainwater. But with time, these wells have damaged, have many problems, so it needs to rehabilitate.
Also, in this semi-desert of the neighboring West Bank, livestock is a key resource, and underground cisterns are proving vital during year after year of drought. But this same ancient technique has also been used in building a new cistern to harvest and conserve rainwater for a school in the city of As-Sassami, and it feeds the whole water network in the school.
احنا أول شيء كمسلمين ان المياه شيء اساسي في حياتنا، وجاء ذكرها في القرآن الكريم، وجاء آية بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي، صدق الله العظيم. بالنسبة لنا احنا سبحان الله المطر تأخر علينا السنة هاي، يعني ما اجاش في وقت المحدد، فبالتالي احنا بحاجة ان يعني نجمع المي بأي طريقة. كمان المي هي أساس الحياة زي ما حكيت أول شيء، فبالتالي لازم نقوم بجمعها بأي طريقة، لازم نحافظ عليها. فبالتالي إن هاي المشاريع اللي أنتم بتقوموا فيها ممكن إنها بتساعد في تجميع المياه أو إن نحصل عليها بشكل مستمر. فعندنا هذا البير أو خلينا نحكي مكان تجميع، هو مكان لتجميع المياه، ممكن إن نحصل عليها من خلال المي اللي بتصلنا، ممكن نعبيه من المي اللي بتصلنا، وممكن إن شاء الله بينزل المطر وبنعبيها من المطر. كمان يعني بدي احكي انه اساسي شيء بكل الحياه، يعني احنا يعني ما بنجيش على المدرسه الا بنكون مغسلين، بنشربش يعني بنعيش الا اذا شربنا، ما بناكلش الا اذا طبخنا بالمي، يعني دائما نستخدمها في حياتنا.
In Yemen's millenary history, ancient civilizations have developed what were, at the time, state-of-the-art infrastructures to capture and conserve precious water resources. The town's buildings surround the large open cisterns in which water coming from the terraces and roofs is collected. Some of these systems were built in the 1st century after Christ. Today they no longer are used to collect drinking water and to regulate runoff. The canals that once upon a time brought excess water to the sea have been filled and turned into roads. It is likely that the name mentioned in the Sabbatian inscription indicates this function. Ma, that means water, and Hayat Tha means life.
This is dam very old, and this built before maybe 600 years, and some people get some water from here to their home. They use it in the kitchen, washing clothes and something like that.
Today most of the cisterns are in bad shape after years without maintenance. The remaining ones still provide water for people's various needs, even though its quality is poor, such that it might prove unhealthy. It would be vital to restore and conserve these cisterns, first of all for people's health, but also because of the great beauty of these monuments of civilization, which deserve to be conserved as part of our cultural heritage.
This water needs to clean something, as you said. There is some green or grass inside the water, so that we need to clean it. This water maybe it depends to collect from the rain only, not by car, not by motors and something like that. The people keep this water. They can't swim inside it because they need it to close, to wash everything, or to make a shower at the mosque or at home, or clean something like dishes, like their bodies, and for everything.
The ancient gestures of drawing water from these timeless cisterns seem to bring us into another world. It is as if a painter's hand has designed the steps, and the history of this civilization is being reenacted once again through the slow rite of collecting water. From Yemen, the Nabateans moved on to Petra more than 2,000 years ago. Even today, Petra's 26,000 inhabitants get their water from this ancient spring, which every day provides them with 4,000 cubic meters, which they use both for domestic purposes and for irrigation.
This is Ain Musa, or spring of Moses, and this is the area's principal water source. Ain Musa, or spring of Moses, and here it's said, or it's thought by some to be one of the many places where the prophet Moses struck a rock in his stick and became 12 springs, and it's mentioned in the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. From here, they used to feed and to irrigate the places inside Petra itself through some channels and some water system.
Around us is arid land, where any form of farming is difficult or impossible, even though things were different in the past.
Here we can see the bridge. It's built in recent time by the Jordan government just before 10 years ago, and this is for the flash flood to construct the water which comes from the mountains, and it was made like this during the Nabatees period. And the winter time started from September up to March in every year. Normally it has a fall of water goes down to the Jordan Valley.
When the Nabateans arrived in Jordan in the 6th century before Christ, they had two reasons for choosing Petra as their capital. One was that its canyons offered a formidable natural system of fortification against any enemy. The other was that the sandstone of its cliffs was easy to work, so they could build the splendid city they had in mind. Temples, palaces, and theatres and houses chiseled out from live rocks, which until recently were still home for the Bedouins.
Now here we can see this crack without end, and by the bottom of the crack you can see some steps, like 3 to 4 steps. These steps made by the Nabateans, because normally when it was rain from the top of the mountains it makes big fall, and Nabateans made the steps to slow the fall and to have it through the main channel of water. This is part of the Nabateans system how to conserve water in that time.
The canyon is 1,300 meters in length, and along its walls the remains of the Nabatean channeling and piping system, which brought water to the city centre, can still be seen. The open system on the left of the canyon carried water for irrigation, while the one on the right, piped in ceramics, carried the domestic water. At the time, the city numbered 35,000 people. From the 8th century after Christ, Petra was abandoned, and such it would remain for many centuries. This painting, dating from 1839, shows us a Petra with many trees, and even a stream that flows in front of this temple. The Nabateans mastered sophisticated building techniques, including the art of dam construction.
The dam above there, where they built a dam to block water and to use that through the channels, which you see here and here. After that, when the dam was full, the rest of the water fall down through the channels to the cistern here.
The Nabateans built a double system of water supply, based on underground cisterns and on the springs which are found in the mountains.
Now here we can see one of the water cisterns, and it was one of the methods how Nabateans used to collect water. Now the cisterns underneath, digged by the Nabateans, and if you look up there, you can see the place of the falls, how the water fall from the rain through channels to the inside of the cisterns. Like this way, they used to collect water in the winter time and in the summertime they spend that for irrigation and cultivation.
And today, Bedouins use the system to water their animals: camels and sheep, goats and horses. Agriculture represents 19.5% of the gross domestic product of Mashrek Maghreb and is the source of livelihood for 42.8% of the population. Agriculture in the Arabic countries is the main consumer of water, using anywhere between 70 and 85% of the available resources. And it becomes more and more necessary to make sure that not a single drop of water is wasted by inefficient use.
We have a lake of water here in Jordan, especially in the area. We cultivate here everything: eggplant, cabbage, cauliflower, tomato, cucumber. This is the nursery. This is for growing the seedling up to the first stage. The first stage, the part of the life for the plant. For around 30 days, we're growing them in the boxes. Then after 30 days, it will become ready. Then we bring them here in this station for around 30 to 35 days. Then the farmer take the seeds, the seedling, up to the land.
السلام ورحمة الله.
كيفك؟
الحمد لله.
إن شاء الله. والله والشمال.
زي ما جيت قبل شوي ما لقيت.
كيف المية عندكم السنة الماء؟
المية كويس يعني ما في مية.
ما في مية. The drip irrigation is very important here in this area because we have a lake of water, and the growers should organize together to make good planting.
Mustafa is a farmer of the city of Karam, and like many others, he is involved in the IRWA project of the European Union's Meda Water Programme. IRWA aims at the optimization of irrigation efficiency and farm outputs.
In drip irrigation and sharing water together in perfect way, we can grow all of the land. Before this drip irrigations, we save around 30% of water. 30% of the water, of the incoming water, is useful. The 70% is not used, going by evaporation, going deep inside, something like this. But in drip irrigations, this percent increase up to 60% or 70%. So we can save more water and more land we can grow.
Arab researchers have estimated that it is possible to raise irrigation efficiency from the present levels of about 50% to 70 or 80%. This could increase irrigated areas by 50% and significantly reduce the Arab region's water deficit. The first thing to do is to make better use of the available water. Here, in the Bekaa Valley, it is sometimes difficult for the farmers to agree on how to share water resources.
ما جاي هالماي هاي جاي من مسحة الليطاني ساكرها ومحطوط بالشقفة نفتحه مشان نروي الأرض.
شو زارع هون بالشقفة؟
هون في زرعين بطاطا وهون زرعين خس.
هالماي هون ليش عم بتروح هيك؟
هاي فتحناها لحتى نتأكد إنه السكر جاهز وشي لحتى نضغط.
بآخر الصيفية بصير في شح بالماي لما لا على طول الماي عندكم كميتها كافية؟
عندنا يعني اجمالا اللي بيارها وفي مي مليحه بالارتوازي بس بالليطاني يعني بالبحيره خفيفه شوي بس بتأدي للموسم يعني.
Sharing experiences and knowledge for sustainable water management helping rural community is the aim of ISIM, a project which is also being implemented in Egypt and Morocco.
Water comes from the Canal 900 and it's pumped until high tanks at 950 meters of altitude, and then it comes through underground pipes to hydrants. And at this level, farmers become responsible of the irrigation network. Water is calculated according to the cultivated area. ISIM has an objective to create water user association or to mobilize water user association, and that's what we did during ISIM project in Lebanon. The institution called Water User Association of the Canal 900 area is now responsible of organizing farmers, and more than 50 farmers are now integrated in this institution. They can reclaim more water, they can discuss of their rights, because before the project, people were working individually.
ISIM is an EU meta-water project that works on 11 specific case studies in the river basin of 6 Mediterranean countries. It involves local partners, water users, development agents, researchers, NGO, public services and administrations in the development of water management strategies. And with these stakeholders, it also discusses institutional arrangements for the sustainable management of water resources. These activities take place through a wide range of training workshops and seminars, allowing farmers to gain a better understanding of the problems of irrigation management. Extreme situations call for imaginative solutions, and man always seems to be capable of finding answers in the everlasting challenge of managing water in the best way. There is another challenge to be faced. At the same time as the quantity of available water is diminishing, the concentration of salt is increasing in the depleted water tables. And this happens especially in the driest areas, such as this Moroccan village at the border of the Sahara Desert. Can people still live and work even where the available water has become brackish? Applied scientific research might give us the answer here. One challenge has been won, and results are achieved, not just because of investments, but also through the commitment of all those involved.
Ce projet que nous réalisons ici au niveau de Airfood est un projet qui se base sur un travail, une investigation participative. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a une équipe de chercheurs avec l'aide des agriculteurs et les connaissances des agriculteurs. On va essayer de combiner leurs connaissances et nos connaissances pour les utiliser pour mieux valoriser leurs ressources en eau qui posent un problème, c'est-à-dire que c'est une ressource en eau très salée qui ne permet pas de produire toutes les cultures. Grâce à nos recherches et à nos connaissances, nous avons proposé à ces agriculteurs d'introduire des cultures qui peut-être résistent à la salinité. Et nous, on va les tester ici au Maroc et on va voir quelles sont ces espèces qui permettent de mieux valoriser, c'est-à-dire que produire beaucoup plus avec le moins d'eau et avec cette eau salée. Qui va permettre sûrement d'améliorer leur niveau de vie et d'améliorer leurs moyens d'existence.
Measurement instruments and test tubes, research and experiments. Technology helps, driven by the scientists' desire to discover new techniques that may help the many people whose livelihoods are at risk because of water shortage. The researchers who arrived in this desert from Rabat find the local farmers full of enthusiasm and eager to experiment with new solutions. There is the ancient Arab hospitality too, the ancient rite of sitting together to share food and drink. Brackish water, if treated, can be used not only for agriculture, but also for domestic needs. Here, at some 20 kilometers from the Dead Sea, the salty water from underground is being treated for human consumption. This project from USAID, America's cooperation agency, has a cost of $120 million. The plant is able to produce over 47 million cubic meters per year of drinkable water.
Water comes from the Wadi al-Mujib and Zara, comes to a raw water reservoir and pumped through a pumping station, a raw water pumping station, to the static mixer, where we add some chemicals for coagulation and flocculation, and then passes through a clarifier called pulsar tube clarifier, where water is clarified before it enters to a dual media filter made up of sand and anthracite. After that, water goes to the desalination plant. It's a reverse osmosis plant where water is being desalinated before blended with filtered treated water and sent to Amman through the pumping stations.
In Jordan, both the quantity and the quality of water are a problem. A small desalination plant has been developed in this school at Hata, a town of 60,000 people in the north of the country.
We have the desalination unit on the roof of this building. This unit consists of 3 parts. One of the parts is the storage tanks, where we store the salty water to be treated by the unit. And the treated water that comes out from the unit after treatment is stored in this storage tank. This storage tank provides water for the coolers down, where the kids, they can use it. The water that is treated up on the roof comes through this pipe to these coolers or fountains, where the workers here in the charitable society and the kindergarten kids, they are using this water for drinking purposes. The quality of this water that comes to the fountains meets the quality requirements of the World Health Organization. It is about 200 to 300 parts per million and is free of pathogens. One of the main parts is the photovoltaic cells. The electricity generated goes to the solar charger, where it goes also to the batteries. And the electricity from the batteries is used to run the reverse osmosis unit. The reverse osmosis unit can treat waters up to 3,000 milligram per liter. It has 3 cartridges inside to remove any grit or sands that may be in the water, in the salty water that is pumped to these storage tanks. And we have also a membrane to treat water up to 500 liters per day. All of the signals that comes out from this unit goes to a data acquisition system that has been installed inside this box. And before treating the water with this unit, actually, we have a softener. This softener is used to remove calcium and magnesium, and then the water comes to this unit. Because from our experience, we have some blockage problems from time to time if we don't operate the softener. If it is extra, there's extra water, then they are using it for the neighbors that they are living in the society.
The water produced is in excess of the needs of the school and the training center, leaving 300 to 500 liters per day, which are donated to the houses nearby. Medda Water's Adira project has been implemented in the Jordan University of Science and Technology in the town of Irbid. The Meddaware project, also being implemented in this same university, focuses on the promotion of efficient wastewater treatment systems and sustainable wastewater reuse in agriculture. Here, data coming from different countries in the Mediterranean is collected and processed to identify results, environmental impact, and best practices. The university has developed a software package to analyze the interaction between cultivations, climate, and the quantity and quality of water. The quality of the water produced by the nearby treatment plant is constantly monitored, with the objective of reaching European quality standards. Treated water is used for irrigation. Jordan is at the forefront on water recycling. Some 98 million cubic meters are being treated every year, but the plan is to reach 250 million by 2025, achieving 100% recycling. By treating wastewater, two important objectives can be achieved. One is to reduce the pollution from untreated wastewater when it contaminates rivers or lakes or seeps into the underground water table, carrying human refuse and chemicals. The other is to obtain what is known as grey water. That is wastewater that has been purified enough to be suitable for agricultural irrigation. In yet another university near Muta, water recycling is being used since 2002 for the irrigation of gardens, olive groves, as well as a nursery.
This ornamental nursery and ornamental plants are irrigated with the grey water, treated grey water, generated from the treatment system inside the campus of the university.
The grey water from this building, water from shower sinks, is transferred into this tank, a septic tank. Then the water is floating into this tank. It's accumulated treated grey water. This is the raw grey water that is generated from this building, and this is the treated grey water by sand filter.
ساهم هذا المشروع في تطوير الأشجار حيث تم ري هذه الأشجار بواسطة المياه الرمادية.
The water is used for irrigating these ornamental plants, and then the money generated from selling this ornamental plant goes to the university student fund.
كان الهدف أن نوعي الناس بأهمية المياه الرمادية، لذلك شكلت لجنة من المجتمع المحلي ومن المهتمين بهذا الموضوع.
384,000 cubic meters of grey water produced by the students and personnel are recycled, obtaining some 1,200 cubic meters per day. The project has been replicated outside the campus. 6 village communities numbering 10,000 people are taking active part in its implementation.
Actually, Abu Raed is an important man in our project. He has participated in all activities implemented throughout the project life. He has also participated in all workshops, in all awareness campaigns, in all capacity building activities implemented during the project life.
Information is exchanged and decisions are taken together with the beneficiaries. Groups of 15 to 20 people are formed, in which the elders are the respected leaders.
ما بضل فاتحة حنفية المي على طول وأنا عم بجلي، لا بستخدم طشة مي، ولو أنا بجلي بحط بطشة المي وبخفف من إني أضل فاتحة الحنفية على طول.
Jordan's water resources amount to 850 million cubic meters per year, but water demand is of 925 million. 63% of available water is used in agriculture, 32% is used for domestic needs, and 5% in industry. As this old man watches his garden dying out in the drought, he may not be aware of these statistics, yet he hopes that things may change for the better. Not far from the Bekaa Valley, the village of Tanura has a grey water recycling project.
Il y a un problème de gestion et de réutilisation de l'eau. Une solution à ce problème est la réutilisation de l'eau qui descend des robinets et de la douche. Par exemple, ici on a un système de 10 mètres cubes qui vient d'à peu près 10 maisons différentes et qui irrigue tout ce jardin d'oliviers.
Arab traditions of hospitality are ever present. Grapes, one of Lebanon's plentiful and typical products, are offered to the guests.
احنا بنشكر اللي قدموا لنا هالمشروع لبلدة طنورة وشاكرينه. أنا من اللي استفدت منه حطيت البرميل هون والبرميل هون وصرت تسقي عندي 5 نصبات زرعتهم ومشوا كلهم على هالمشروع. نحن بنشكرهم والله يوفقهم.
Filling a couple of jerrycans and watering a few olives do not call for great quantities. And yet, by diffusing this system in every home, a lot of water could be saved. Simple gestures repeated in everyday's domestic life can make a substantial difference in consumption. One of the main challenges in developing wastewater recycling is to overcome the prejudice of people and farmers to whom it is necessary to prove that the system is a sound and healthy one. The role of community leaders is especially important for this. One of Medawater's most innovative projects being experimented in this town, and a delegation is coming to visit it. International cooperation is more than investment and research. It also means dialogue and exchange between different cultures.
أحييكم بتحية الإسلام المباركة الطيبة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. لأن السلام في الإسلام معناه الأمان، والأمان هو الذي تبحث عليه جميع الدول في الوقت الراهن. مادة الماء هي الأساس في هذه الحياة. لهذا يجب إعادة نظر جدا وبسرعة لكي ينقذ ما يمكن إنقاذه في هذا المجال. كذلك كنطلب من الإخوان اللي ساعدونا في هذا البرنامج وفي هذا المشروع النموذجي.
Le projet consiste à faire le traitement des eaux grises de Hammam Tissir. Il produit maintenant environ 70 tonnes d'eau traitée qui s'utilisent dans l'irrigation des espaces verts.
Vous êtes un des premiers projets, donc recherche-développement, sur un cas donc vraiment pratique d'application qui demain peut être disséminé dans tout le Maroc.
Monsieur le gouverneur a incité toutes les communes qui se trouvent dans cette province, dans cette préfecture, d'essayer de faire le même projet pour bien gérer la ressource en eau.
Il est clair qu'aujourd'hui, il y a aussi une prise de conscience locale. C'est-à-dire, c'est bien d'être aidé de l'extérieur, mais aussi, il faut aussi se prendre en charge. Et là, nous-mêmes, au niveau du staff de la RMSU, c'est un peu le message qu'on fait passer, parce que de tels projets, il faut aussi qu'elles soient pérennes.
In Atawi alone, you have 5 hammams. In all Moroccan cities, we are talking about maybe between 10,000 and 20,000 hammams.
After the water has been used in the hammam, what are you doing with the water that has been used?
This is what we call the grey water from the hammam. And we exported our experience from IAV, Institut Agronomique and Vétérinaire Hassan II, where we have used some grey water from showers facilities, and we learned how to treat them and recycle them for other purposes. Here water will be treated in a small treatment plant located on the main avenue in a green area of the city, and then reuse it for landscaping. The impact on the city is double. The first is water is no more pumped from groundwater for landscaping, and second, you have less water going to the treatment plant, and this is, I think, an interesting advantage.
Donc vous voyez ici la qualité finale de l'eau après traitement. Cette eau qu'on utilise pour l'irrigation des espaces verts de la commune urbaine de l'Attaouia.
And this is just one of the countless hammams which are found everywhere in the Arabic world. How many more will follow this example to provide an additional service to their water-starved communities? Just imagine how many gardens could be irrigated in this way in the Mediterranean cities, making them more fresh and beautiful, without consuming even a single drop of fresh water. Even if we only consider the main cities, only about 40% of the wastewater in the Arab region receives some kind of treatment. The rest is simply discharged in rivers, wadis, and the sea. And the water recycling system is also being used in the farms near the town.
Le fait d'avoir introduit ce système de traitement, nous avons augmenté la quantité d'eau utilisée par l'agriculture. Le résultat de la réutilisation est qu'il y a une plus grande disponibilité de l'eau pour les agriculteurs. Ajoutez à cela que ces eaux contiennent déjà des engrais, donc ces agriculteurs n'ajoutent aucun engrais, et surtout que ce sont des engrais déjà solubilisés. Donc ça augmente l'efficacité de leur utilisation par les plantes. Et de ce fait, le niveau de production et le rendement des cultures a augmenté. On enregistre ici, par exemple, pour le blé dur, des rendements de 40 quintaux et même 45 et 50 quintaux qui sont pris pour le blé dur. Et ça, c'est un bon résultat par rapport à une culture qui ne reçoit aucun engrais.
Donc vous nous avez dit quel est l'usage des eaux épurées?
Il y a un cahier de charge qui est établi par la municipalité et qui est que les agriculteurs, qui sont une association d'usagers de l'eau d'irrigation constituée ici, respectent. Et dans ce cahier de charge, il est dit que la qualité des eaux épurées ici doit servir uniquement aux cultures consommées après cuisson. Et donc il y a une liste de cultures interdites à l'utilisation.
Telles que
les tomates,
légumes verts, les salades.
On ne fait pas les tomates, on ne fait pas la laitue, on fait aucun légume. D'ailleurs dans ce périmètre, il n'y a aucun légume.
Et en priorité, les plantes fourragères?
Exactement. Donc les gens basent leur système de production ici sur les céréales que vous voyez à droite, qui sont là. Et ça, c'est les céréales. Vous voyez, il y a du blé, et il y a de l'orge et du blé tendre, du blé dur et du blé tendre. Et sur les fourrages, ici, vous avez la luzerne, ici, avec plusieurs coupes par an. Et ça, c'est utilisé pour l'alimentation du bétail. Donc sur ce périmètre, il n'existe pas de denrées consommées à l'état cru.
The language of water is about caring for this precious resource, conserving it, protecting it, and using it efficiently, doing away with every kind of waste. And the gestures of a farmer, as he looks for his water, guides it to his crops, and follows its journey, are once again slow and measured, his ageless respect. As the Holy Quran says, "From water we have made every form of life."